Boucher, Head of Content at Event Marketer, and I'm joined by Juanita Chavarro-Arias, our Managing Editor. Hey, Juanita. And Kate Shea, Senior Editor and Manager of Digital Content. Hey, Kate.
Hey.
And Kate is the curator of The Brief, our weekly dispatch on LinkedIn and eventmarketer.com featuring experiential campaigns and marketing news that caught our attention. And this is The Brief Live, our monthly recap of that coverage with special commentary. But we've got a special episode for you because not only are we coming to you weekly this month, we're going to highlight a few of the learnings from our visits to cities across the country for our Trendwatch seminar as part of Experiential Marketing Month. Yes, we're bringing you additional content and insights virtually and live all month long. Before we jump into our takeaways from our Chicago stop this week, Kate, what are some of the experiential news and ideas that you're following this week?
Yes. Well, my friends, your resident Swiftie at your service here. So as it turns out, I was not the only one that cared about Taylor Swift's new album, The Life of a Showgirl, coming out last week. I don't know if you can believe it. So in addition to me and probably 100 million other fans, brands kind of got in on the fun, poured that orange glitter on some of these experiences. There were pop-ups, listening parties, all these showgirl themed experiences, tons of them, of course. I'll just point out two. So one was a very sparkly The Life of a Showgirl, a Spotify experience pop-up that was in New York. And it was just stockpiled with these lyrics themed Easter eggs, had a tiny violin, Valentine's Day cards, if you know, you know. It was dripping in all this, glamorous showgirl accessories, the pearls, the feathers, all of that. Of course, there were tons of curated photo ops and the chance to get swag. So that was one of my favorites. And for Uber Eats, which also jumped in on the action, they went in a totally adorably different direction. So the brand teamed up with Best Friends Animal Society to host these mobile pop-up Uber show cats experiences in New York, LA, and Nashville. And as we know, Taylor's a huge cat fan. So attendees could stop in just to cuddle, or they could adopt their own kitty right on site. Favorite part of this is that 28 cats ended up being adopted across the cities, which is incredible. And they could also, of course, snap photos in this showgirl themed photo booth and take home incredible swag. So baby, that's showbiz for you.
So let's let this drag on. We have orange and turquoise on the brain. I'm happy to have this keep going for another week. Fantastic, Kate. And Kate, earlier this week, you hosted a panel discussion on LinkedIn Live as part of Experiential Marketing Month on opportunities in the festival sponsorship space. What did you take away from that?
Yeah, so many things to take away. We had this great discussion on festival activations. I was joined by Kim Haney from Pernod Ricard, Demi Wong from Shein, and Blake Kotska from Red Bull America. And they had all kinds of great insider insights. I will just point out two for now. One is that brands are starting to sort of go back to basics with their festival builds and focusing more on the experience than the build. So meaning fewer AV tricks and things like that, and things that, an attendee may or may not notice they're taking away, and instead kind of figuring out what will enhance the Consumers Festival, not just alleviate a pain point, but actually add value to that experience. So that's something that was a big topic. And the other one that was, we've talked about this before, but the panelists talked about how important it is to have this mix of national and regional festivals that you're sponsoring. And they really drove home how much more freedom to experiment and play and just have fun when working with regional festivals and those promoters. They just have a little more wiggle room. And those festivals also have a lower barrier to entry for the fans as well. So, when it comes to those sponsorships, a lot fewer rules and regs to adhere to. So it's just, it sounds like a place where you can really experiment and play. So I think that's a space to watch.
Fantastic. Excellent. And you can catch that entire conversation on our YouTube channel right now. So that was terrific. Juanita and I are fresh off our Trendwatch seminar from Chicago. If any of you who joined us is listening, go Cubs. Congrats. We're very happy for you. At the seminar, we had event marketers working together to discover new research, to discuss and discover new research, create new campaigns, talk shop with brands, and dig into the next iteration of AI in this work. Some top takeaways from Chicago that I'll just go over that we discussed throughout the day. Really knowing your audience well heading into next year and pinpointing whether you're strategizing for a long-term relationship versus a one-off relationship with your target. Digging deep into the calendar year for events to uncover in order to put a stake in the ground in some new spaces and take advantage of white space in your area. Always bringing a new innovation or news to your events and experiences to boost buzz and create integrated marketing opportunities across the organization. We talked about how Gen Zers are learners and seekers and how events can satisfy that goal for them. And to that end, assembling a SWAT team before you begin creative strategy, like what bodies need to be around the table to satisfy a multi-platform integrated event goal for 2026 before you get into that creative brief. Think about your power players first. And I'd like to extend some kudos to Chicago for some of the best creative brief challenge ideas yet. I won't give too much away because you have to be in the room. But a few of the major themes and ideas: sushi and suma, fish tossing, and tapping into niche communities. So well done, friends. Juanita, what about you? What did you take away?
Yeah, I enjoyed the presentations as well that everyone gave. It's like when you give them like no budget, they can really just take off and get creative. So our panelists gave some great insights. First, don't try an event once just to see what happens. Go into it knowing that you're going to do it again and improve on it each time. And this is going to lead to results that you can decide if it's actually worth it to put this program on again. But I mean, if you do it once, that's not really a good judge of whether it is. And on metrics, attendance isn't the only data point that matters. Also, billions of impressions don't really provide the value that you think it does. We see those kinds of impressions all the time. So maybe dig a little deeper and see if there's something else that will be more helpful as you plan your next event. Create a best practices playbook to speed up the event planning process. And if you're using something more than twice, just buy it instead of actually renting it. I think that was something that was pretty funny. And it's like, oh, maybe that is a budget saving tip. And adding to your point, Rachel, about Gen Z, brands are finding that they're not into super flashy experiences, that you have to make the program engaging enough for them to share and post on social media. But maybe you don't have to have like loud lights or logos everywhere. It's just reaffirming our call on the rise of low-key branding and activations. And lastly, in terms of AI and emerging technologies, keep the focus on the audience so the tech incorporated into the event doesn't fall flat and it's not being used for the sake of including it just because it's hot right now.
I love that, Juanita. And with all of our seminars, the goal is to get you talking to each other and workshopping together. And we've just been so excited and interested in what you all have to say. So thank you so much. All right. Well, thanks for tuning into this special edition of The Brief Live. Look out for a few more special editions this month as we celebrate Experiential Marketing Month. Next Thursday, our Trendwatch Seminar is headed to New York City. We hope to see you there. Until then, be sure to subscribe to the Brief LinkedIn newsletter and check out all of our weekly coverage on eventmarketer.com. Thanks so much. Bye.